Today I'm taking a look at the Yiyeie 8-piece torque wrench set. So we got a user manual, and we have 3 certificates of calibration for the 3 torque wrenches. So starting with the largest torque wrench, this is a 10 to 160 foot-pound. When they set it to 32, they got a 32.21, 32.5, 32.04. So this is all within a half a foot-pound. When they set it to 96, they got 96.02, 96.22, and 95.94. So even more accurate at 96 foot-pounds. At 160 foot-pounds, they got 159.25, 159.33, and 159.25. So that makes this an extremely accurate torque wrench. So all within 1 foot-pound from 32 to 160. The next size down, this is a 3/8. This is designed for 10 to 45 foot-pounds. So at 10, they got 10.03, 10.02, and 10.02. That is crazy accurate. At 27, they got 26.88, 26.84, and 26.79. And at 45, they got 44.74, 44.68, and 44.61. So this one is accurate to less than half a foot-pound. So that is excellent. And now for the smallest torque wrench, this is a 1/4-inch drive. This one is designed for 10 inch-pounds to 220 inch-pounds. So not foot-pounds, inch-pounds. At 44, they got 44.04, 43.90, and 43.61. At 132, they got 132.55, 132.55, and 132.69, and at 220 they got 221.77, 220.92, and 220.63. So all within 2 inch-pounds. Keeping in mind that an inch-pound is 1/112th of a foot-pound. So all of these are extremely accurate. So let's take a look at the big boy. Really like that black on gray lettering on there. It's going to make this much easier to read than those ones that are all chrome. So you can see we got 2 rings on here. So the top is foot-pounds and the bottom is Newton meters. So if you want to read Newton meters, read this side. And if you want to read the foot-pounds, read this side. And we can see that is 10 up to 160 foot-pounds. This is also the style that I prefer, so it's just a locking collar. All we got to do is pull this down, and then we can twist. And what's even nicer about this is if it's between 2 numbers, all we have to do is give it a little twist, and that will lock in. So that way we will know that we are exactly on that number. It is a push-button style socket release, and we can see that the ball will actually fall in simply with the pressure by itself. This is a style of ratchet I prefer because I don't have to worry about the socket popping off, and more importantly, if I have to work one-handed, I can drop those sockets off and put new ones on one-handed. It is also reversible. Has a pretty smooth feeling ratchet, and if I have this zeroed out, it will still fit in the case. And because the handle expands as you zero that out, that'll actually make the torque wrench a little bit longer. So I have seen some sets like this where it will not fit in the case when it's zeroed. This one does, so that is excellent. For the 10 to 45, this is a 3/8. This one's a little bit smaller, so you can fit this into tighter spots, and you can fit the 10 to 160. And of course, we can also use smaller sockets. It's the same collar style lock, and we also have foot-pounds and Newton meters on this as well. Very smooth feeling head, also reversible. Pretty much the exact same thing, just designed for a lighter torque setting. And then for the little guy, this is the 1/4-inch drive. This one is designed for inch-pounds. So if you're doing anything that requires a very light torque, maybe you're going into aluminum, this is going to be the one that you want. This is a 1/4-inch drive, same style socket release, also reversible, and also has inch-pounds and Newton meters. One of the neat things about this set is we also have some adapters in here. So we have 3 extensions, one for 3/8, one for 1/2 inch, and one for 1/4. It does say on here this is chrome vanadium. This is about a 6-inch extension, and that locks in with no problem. I also like to see we got a knurled grip on here so we can grab that and spin it with our fingers if we need to. The 1/2 inch is very similar. That one is a 5-inch, and the 1/4-inch drive is about a 4-inch. We have an impact adapter. So this is 1/2 inch to 3/8. So if we need to use the larger torque, but we need to use a smaller socket, we can use that. And we have a universal joint. So if we need to bend that around a tight angle, we can use this to make that happen. These are click style. So, yep, feel a nice positive click, so that we know that we torque it exactly. So having a nice set like this, if you need to torque up to 160 foot-pounds, so anything even up to lug nuts on your vehicle, something where you can fit that into smaller spaces. So if you got to fit this between the firewall and an engine block, something like that, you'll be able to have more room with this guy. Also typically more accurate as you're getting down to about 10 foot-pounds. And then for anything very light, you got this guy. And the fact that we got all this in one blow molded case, instead of having a bunch of different cases that all take up their own space on the toolbox, we're gonna have all our torque wrenches right here. We only have to open up one case to get to them. So that is a very cool kit.